and has mysteriously ended up dead. And lastly, Prince Andrew, who has been in hiding since the fallout of the Epstein trial, is now resurfacing because the Epstein files have been mysteriously closed. And his people are saying that he's now ready to venture back into the public life. So we win some, we lose some. Welcome back to Candace. Well, I will say this, guys. We definitely needed this win, especially after an entire week being gaslit about Jeffrey Epstein. We needed at least one pervert to not get away with it. And it's happening. It is happening right now in France. I'm very excited about it, and I'm going to tell you what is going on. First, we should put this on rewind, though, because I have to say it was a lot. 2024 was a lot for me. Personally, I was just being completely pummeled by the mainstream media. I was the first person in, I guess, Western media, American media, to say, hey, or at least the English-speaking world, to say, hey, Macron, I think, is definitely married to a dude. And then the entire mainstream media rose up, as they often do, not to do their job, not to investigate these claims any further, but to do their real job, which is to defend the government, defend the state, and to just say that any person who's saying this is unhinged and crazy. And there's just no way that that's true. There's no way that this 40-year-old, quote unquote, woman who happens to look a lot like a dude in a dress, is given Mrs. Doubtfire over here, and who also happens to have fallen in love with a 14-year-old. She was 40. Oh, there's no way she could be lying about anything, or might just be perverted altogether. Anyways, fresh off of being fired for the Daily Wire, it was Piers Morgan who interviewed me first, and he had me on his show. And look, I like Piers, but I'm going to say he was trying to step on my head while I was already drowning. He just came to deliver that final blow, asking me all sorts of questions, implying that I was anti-Semitic because I was like saying what was happening in Gaza was wrong. I'll let you know he has since come over to my side. And he's about to come over on my side when it comes to Brigitte as well, because then he brings it up at the end. There was like an hour of us just clashing. I was exhausted. And at the end, he then tries to paint me as a crazy person and asks me about Brigitte. And don't worry, you guys, as tired as I was, I stood 10 toes down on this one. So let's put that on rewind. Take a listen. This is from June 11th of last year.
But it's this question about the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who you keep saying is a man. You produced zero evidence that she is a man. It's been deeply offensive to her husband, President Macron, to all of her family. You keep promoting it to millions of people that follow you. And I simply ask why. She's not a man, she's a woman.
I'm happy to answer the question. I think Brigitte Macron is a trans woman. And I think the fact that when Brigitte Macron... Okay.
But where's your evidence that she is?
Well, Piers, the thing is I'm not allowed to speak after you ask me a question, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is anymore. You just seem to kind of be saying your own thoughts. So I'm just going to be silent here and allow you to monologue.
Where is your evidence that Brigitte Macron is transgender?
Well, I did an entire series talking about where this came from. And first and foremost, you're pretending that I'm the one that promulgated this. In fact, it was 3 journalists in France that worked on the story for 3 years.
Right.
And they teamed up with genealogists. And they came across, and it was absolutely fascinating. I read the entire report, and everybody watching this, rather than listen to Piers Morgan giving you a bunch of adjectives, ridiculous, it's awful, I can't believe that she's saying this. Why don't you go pursue a primary source? Why don't you go find the articles that were written by the French journalists? Because this did not come from me. This came from French journalists.
And while they were working,
let me finish the statement, Piers. Okay. While they were working on this piece, the Macrons sent their secret service to interrupt this. This is not a normal thing that you do when somebody's about to publish a lie. You would just say it's ridiculous, publish it, and we'll dispute it. They sent the secret service to intimidate these journalists. They took their phones. They held them. They wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece. And what they uncovered was absolutely fascinating. What they uncovered was the fact that Brigitte Macron, who alleges that the person that they are saying is her is actually her brother, who's never been seen and who they never produced, that Brigitte Macron lived as a man for 30 years and then transitioned at the age of 30. So he's trying to tell you this is crazy, this is wacky. Why don't you just go pursue a primary source?
Well,
I'm not the primary source. It would be very easy to dispute this. All Brigitte Macron would have to do is produce a single photo of her in the first 30 years of her life, or to go on a little walk with her brother, who she is suing people. And the one photo that they keep producing is a photo of her daughter to phone that has been photoshopped. Let me get a word in, please.
Brigitte Macron, as you know, has a libel trial against Natasha Ray, who made the claims that the French First Lady was born a man called Jean-Michel Trogner. It's due to take place imminently, and we will get to the bottom of this. And I'll bet you, why don't we have like £100,000 bet that it establishes beyond any doubt to a charity of your choice and mine, $100,000, make it dollars, right now, that it is established beyond any doubt that she was born a woman. Do you accept that bet?
Make it rain, Piers. Make it rain, okay? Because look, first and foremost, 100,000 pounds. Can we look up what that means in US dollars? Let's see what that, $136,000. I'll round it up. Let's round it up to $1 there. 136,000 US dollars are mine, Piers. I'm not gonna let you get away with this. I want my money. It's gonna be like that Family Guy scene where Stewie's like beating up Brian. I want my money. Where's my money? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it started, and this is how it's going. Check out this headline. We are trending all over France. This is huge news. The women who claimed Brigitte Macron was born a man are cleared of defamation because that's how the truth works. It's amazing that they even initially got convicted because of corruption, of defaming the French First Lady. It was this false conviction that the media then touted out as a win, saying, see, she's not born a man. But that actually wasn't what was at root of the case, as many of you guys know that have been following the series. Anyways, what has happened today is that the judges that were sitting at the Paris Appeal Court on Thursday ruled that Amandine Roy, that is the 53-year-old clairvoyant, and Natasha Ray, and she has been absolutely fantastic. She's a 49-year-old journalist, blogger, and researcher that teamed up and first and foremost put Xavier Poussard onto this story when he was having trouble even finding basic facts about Brigitte. And she said, yeah, that's because Brigitte was born Jean-Michel Trogner. And so now the court has ruled that they had every legal right to make those allegations. More specifically, Brigitte brought the case in regards to a 4-hour YouTube video broadcast where the two of these ladies were sitting down. And Brigitte is alleging that there were 18 instances of defamation. Well, the court has ruled that those 18 instances did not constitute defamation, or they were based in good faith. And like I explained throughout the series, they were never attacking, Brigitte was never attacking the claim that she was born a man. She was being super petty and trying to get them on a technicality of defamation for misspeaking. You know, they tried this with me. Oh, you said this photo was recolorized, but it wasn't actually recolorized. And then trying to get someone into the courtroom, and then the judge says, oh yeah, it wasn't recolorized. And you go, oh, look, we won. It was defamation to suggest that this photo was recolorized when it wasn't. That was the game that they were playing so that they could give the journalists something to tout out as a win. Now they've come back and said, you know what? That's not enough. Okay, that is actually not enough. These women did not defame you. And so their lawyers were cheering outside of court. I can't imagine what it feels like for Natasha Ray and Amandine Roy. Natasha Ray got sick with cancer throughout this. Brigitte did not care, has been attacking these women for being the first to expose what is so obviously true. And it's a major win.